What is up here, YouTube? Jigsaw0097 here today, bringing you my top 3 reasons why I think the Eagles can repeat and go ahead and be Super Bowl champions yet again and win Super Bowl 53. Stay tuned. So if you guys remember, last year, 2017, around this time, going into the season, there were many doubters with the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles were considered the 7-9 team from the last season, the team that looked good on paper but just couldn't quite get the wins when they needed them. You know, you had the heartbreaks like the Ravens game where Carson Wentz gave it his all, but it was not enough in the end and they still lost. And then you had the Dallas game where they were ahead by 10 points almost the entire game, and in the end they just ended up losing that one as well. You had the game against the Bengals where they just got absolutely destroyed by a below average team. Many things went on. People questioned Doug Pederson's coaching abilities. Is his risky attitude going to work out for the Eagles? Is Carson Wentz going to be the real deal, or, as many analysts said when he was drafted, is he going to be the bust that was predicted? And to make matters even worse, guys, we all know about the 3-0 start at the beginning of the 2016 season. We went in against Cleveland in the opening of the season, which, you know, beating them wasn't a huge deal. But then we went on the road to Chicago and we beat the Bears in their own territory with Alshon Jeffrey on the Bears team at that time. To top it all off, Pittsburgh comes to town, and in probably one of the best games I've ever watched as an Eagles fan, they just systematically dismantled the Steelers in Philadelphia, making Big Ben look more like Jay Cutler. People started chanting, "Wentzylvania, Carson Wentz is the real deal, Doug Pederson is the coach that we've been asking for. The slate has been wiped clean from Chip Kelly. The Eagles are back to winning football." You had Howie Roseman back into the operations. You had Jeffrey Lurie endorsing the team again with a real happy attitude. The fans were at an all-time high during this period. Things were looking great. And then the Lions game happened. A lot of people will attribute this to the 3-0 start and then having a bye week right after, but I think, in my honest opinion, the Eagles just did not have the talent at the time. And as I went to learn over the course of that season, and especially last season with them winning the Super Bowl, that Doug Pederson's play calling was not the problem. It never was the problem. The problem was execution. Fast forwarding to 2017, the Eagles came out of the tunnel and they just exercised all their demons, guys. Keep in mind, Nelson Aguilar couldn't catch a ball to save his life in 2016. The Eagles didn't have guys like Alshon Jeffrey. They didn't have LeGarrette Blount. You know, they didn't have all this talent that Howie Roseman brought to the team. Patrick Robinson on the defensive side was a pleasant surprise. Chris Long came out to ball. We had all sorts of talent now on this level, and also the Eagles had a chip on their shoulder, because if you guys remember in 2016, they ended the season on a sour note. They knew it. The fans knew it. They wanted more. We all saw it too. We saw at the end against the Redskins, Carson Wentz had flashes of genius in 2016, and he just kept getting better over the course of the season, and they went all in and brought the talent to Carson Wentz, which has made them 2017 Super Bowl champions. The team is so well built that Carson Wentz, even getting injured, didn't deter the Eagles from winning this championship. Nick Foles stepped in, and he brought the ring to Philly in such a fantastic way. I call that season the Rocky season. Only in Philadelphia could something like this happen, and it was a magical season, one to remember. The question here is, can the Eagles do it? I think yes, and I will give you my reasons why. So moving on to my number 3 reason of why I think they can win and repeat in the Super Bowl is they have the best quarterback situation in the league, guys. I don't even want to hear it at this point. Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl after Carson Wentz getting injured, like I just mentioned, proves that. And then you have a young guy like Nate Sudfeld, who all the coaches say is looking fantastic. The Eagles are definitely endorsing him. And so right there, you know, you got the 1-2-3 punch. You got Carson Wentz, who is basically an MVP of this league already in just 2 seasons, and I don't see him declining at all, bar injury. Then you got Nick Foles, who started his career in Philadelphia, was traded, and then came back to win the Super Bowl for the city. He's running off of an all-time high when it comes to confidence. The fans love him. The coaches love him. Everyone loves Nick Foles, and it's going to show this season. This is also the first season where we're going to actually see a fan base that had been deprived of a Super Bowl for so long come out with a chip on their shoulders as well, and they're going to be highly rooting for the team going forward. I mean, the Eagles had the highest third down conversion percentage in the league, guys, and that was highly due to Carson Wentz and what he was able to accomplish in the beginning of the season, and I just think his injury is going to make him more motivated. He's going to be wearing the knee brace now. As we all know, Tom Brady got injured when he was younger, and it didn't deter him at all. He still went on to win 4 Super Bowls, so I just don't think that's going to be a problem at all, and I think Carson Wentz is going to come out with a chip on his shoulder, and it's going to be even more ridiculous than it was last year. And, of course, you got Nate Sudfeld as well. Like I said, if everything goes down, you got a quarterback that the coaches trust, the players trust. You still will have Carson Wentz and Nick Foles whispering in his ear. And I just think that it's going to be a fantastic situation. Like I said, the best quarterback situation in the league. And this will bring us into our number 2 reason, guys, of why I think the Eagles can repeat. And that is Doug Pederson, flat out one of the most genius coaches in the league right now. You're going to see lots and lots of copycats this year, in not just the way that a team is built, but in the coaching style of Doug Pederson, which I like to call ultimate balls. Basically, this guy is not intimidated by anyone, as we saw in the Super Bowl. He went up against Bill Belichick, who many people consider the greatest coach of all time. I've even heard people say he's better than Lombardi, and he didn't bat an eye. He just beat for beat matched him. And the biggest reason why Doug Pederson is this way and why he has such an X factor, I think, is because this is a guy that will actually listen to his players. You saw this Super Bowl footage of Nick Foles going up to him and saying, "You want to run the Philly?" And Doug Pederson stopped for a second, looked at him, and said, "Yeah, let's do that." He didn't sit there and say, "I'm the coach, I know better, I'm not going to do that." He listened to his player, he let them execute, it worked. That is a huge X factor, guys, and that is one of the reasons Doug Pederson is so valuable to this Eagles team. And then, like I said, the second reason why he's so amazing is because he's willing to take the risks. He's willing to go for it on 4th down instead of taking that meager field goal. He's willing to try to convert the 1st down and keep the play going, keep the offense on the field, keep the opposing defense on the field, and let the Eagles defense rest up for when they need to do what they need to do. And that will lead into the third reason, guys. The D-line is stacked. This Eagles D-line is one of the most ridiculous D-lines I've ever seen, and I just don't see how any opposing offense is going to be able to compensate for all of this depth that the Eagles have. We're talking about guys like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Chris Long, Derek Barnett, Timmy Jernigan, and the newly added players Halati Nagata and Michael Bennett. I hope I said Nagata's name right. Sorry if I mispronounced it. But Michael Bennett is a huge pickup, and this is an Eagles defense that is just disgustingly deep at this point, guys. They did lose Vinnie Curry to the Buccaneers, but I don't think that's going to matter considering what they picked up. Also, keeping on the defense, you have a secondary that is up and coming. You have Rasul Douglas, who showed flashes of brilliance last year, and you have Sidney Jones coming off of his knee injury, fully recovered, ready to play out a whole season. You lose Patrick Robinson, but you bring in the younger guys. Keep in mind, guys, the draft this year, they only got 5 players, but it was great what they got. They got Dallas Goedert for the offense, tight end to match up with Zach Ertz. They got Avonte Maddox to go back to the cornerback situation. They got Josh Sweet for the defensive end, and then they got 2 O-linemen in Matt Pryor and Jordan Mailata, and we don't even know if Mailata will play play on the O-line because the guy is a rugby player. You can pretty much do anything you want with him. Keep in mind the Eagles drafts have been historically pretty good as well, other than when they drafted Marcus Smith. All in all, guys, this is a potent cocktail of offense, defense, and special teams. You know, the Eagles' offense is one of the best in the league. The Eagles' defense is one of the best in the league, especially the D linemen. And their secondary just keeps getting better. Who knows, maybe in a year or 2 years, even next year, this team could be the new Legion of Boom, guys. It's highly possible, especially when you have a guy like Michael Bennett leave the Legion of Boom to come to the new Legion of Boom. So anyway, guys, that is going to be my top 3 reasons why I think the Eagles can repeat. Those key reasons are just a huge deal in today's NFL, and I don't think really any team has it. The Patriots have the talent, but they don't have the coaching. They don't have the listening to their players like Doug Pederson does. I just think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady are on their way out, and that makes me look at other teams that are up and coming, like the Jaguars in the AFC, or maybe the Steelers could possibly still do it. And then in the NFC, you know, I'm not discounting that. You still got the Rams, you got the Vikings, you got a couple teams up and coming. The 49ers with Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't know. But right now, currently, I just think that no one can really compete with the Eagles, and I think those top 3 reasons are why they're definitely going to make it to the playoffs. And if they make it to the playoffs, especially with home field advantage, they have probably one of the best chances to repeat of any team. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm trying to do a little bit more edited content here, like I have said in my previous video. I'm still just figuring out a lot of stuff. And this is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while now, just because a lot of people have been saying that the Eagles are going to be one and done, which I completely disagree with. I think they have the potential to win another Super Bowl, as you've just seen in my top 3 reasons. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about my opinions on this matter, and if you think I'm crazy or if you're agreeing with me. Whatever you guys think, comment down below. Just give me some feedback. Let me know how I'm doing. Also, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And for any returning viewers that watch this video, thank you so much. And as always, guys, this has been Jigsaw0097. I will leave some links at the end of this video that should be seeing now or very soon to check out some of my other videos. But you guys have a good one.